Cams are awesome. They're definitely the easiest type of gear to both place and remove. They're rock solid and the force rating is very high. But they're also some of the most dangerous gear to place, and here's why. A lot of people starting off with trad just shove them into the rock all over the place and don't really know how they work, and it causes their placements to be absolute garbage. If a nut is bad, you'll see it instantly. If a cam is bad, it's going to be pretty good at hiding its secrets. So let's cover 3 tips that will quickly turn your cam placements from garbage to great. Note that I'm assuming you're following the most basic tips, namely that cams must have every lobe contacting the rock look as symmetrical as possible and not be over or under cam. Let's say you're starting off with placing gear and see a crack that looks nice, but you ran out of the 3 big cams, so you just have to place a tiny one instead. And look, it works because the crack gets really narrow at this one place, except no, you just have, excuse my terminology, yourself. This is because when the rope tugs on them, cams will want to walk up and down until they're either totally stuck or just commit die and fall out of the crack. You're much better off placing hexes or nuts if you have any. They'll fit into those cracks better than any cam will and save you wasting valuable gear on a crap placement. Cams are best placed in pockets or cracks with backs on them the cam can shove straight up against. If there's anything I want you to take away from this, it is, if you have the option to, place a couple nuts in that crack instead. You should only place cams if you're really pumped, the crack is parallel, or if you have nothing else. A strength of cams is that they can fit in a lot of places. A weakness of cams is that they can fit in a lot of places, and if you're an idiot, you'll use the wrong ones. If you fall in a nut, it puts tremendous downward force on the placement, which is usually fine. But when you fall in a cam, the force is directed outward as the lobes engage and expand. This is how the cam holds itself in smooth parallel cracks. If you put the cam between a boulder and the main wall, the cam can easily split the boulder from the wall. I don't have to tell you that's a bit of a problem. Check loose rock, check weird rock before placing a cam. This is also why you should be very careful when using a cam in a non-standard placement like between 2 jugs or tufas. They fit very well and look very good in a lot of sketchy rock features. Cams usually use less rock to hold themselves in than most gear does, so that also makes it especially crucial to check for rock that is or could become loose. Not knowing this is probably the biggest cause of beginners having cams make an unscheduled evacuation from their cracks. You can test the placement to hell, you can yank it from every direction, all 4 lobes of solid contact, and then when you're pumped and it's your last piece, it just rolls out like the R's in the mouth of a Dutchman. This is because cams are dynamic, constantly testing the rock, constantly seeing if they can escape into bigger cracks, go further down or out the crack they are in. If you're tugging on them violently, they'll just stick into place and look solid. If you give them a bit of gentle teasing like the rope does, or even a bit of time, they will slide out a tiny bit, and if it's a shallow crack or pocket, out it comes. You really want it to be trapped on every side by constrictions in the rock, or just be placed deep in a crack that doesn't flare. If it is, you've made a solid placement. Bonus tip, sometimes you'll place a cam nice and deep in a crack and it finds a pocket deep in there and just completely disengages. Bad, right? No, depending on the model, you can actually just use them that way and they will be rated just as strong as nuts. Just make sure they really are completely trapped by the rock and there's no way they can rotate or fall out. Comment your favorite cam tips below. See you next time.